Hello, welcome to Ferrell Swim Tech. My name is John Ferrell. This is the live streamed swimming show where I help you get faster at swimming for triathlons, master swimming, whatever you want. Today's topic is going to be rotation. We're going to talk about body rotation, how to get it, why it's important. And we're going to take this one in a couple different steps because body rotation is one of those skills where you don't have to have all or nothing. You can actually take this in steps. You know, you can start with a certain amount of rotation, then progress, and then learn more rotation, and then learn more rotation. So we're going to get into that in just a second. First off, email ferrellswimtech@gmail.com. Any questions about swimming? Throw me an email. I don't care. Any topic, I'll answer it. Instagram, Ferrell Swim Tech on Instagram. Still working on more posts, even though I'm failing. YouTube, Ferrell Swim Tech. That's got a library of all the videos. Also, here on Team Zoot's Facebook page, you can find my videos as well. You just kind of gotta search down through Mark's fantastic Friday check-in videos. And then Rumble, Ferrell Swim Tech at Rumble. Got one follower over there. Thank you very much. That's probably me, let's face it. Love to see more people subscribe to the Rumble. My background is I was an All-American swimmer back in high school. I was 64th in 100 backstroke and 200 freestyle, oddly enough, the same ranking in both. I swam for Brigham Young University for 4 years, majoring in civil engineering and minoring in backstroke and distance freestyle. Then I started private coaching in 2012. Cut my teeth on a friend of mine in my church who said, "Hey, my son's on the high school swim team. Can you help him go faster?" I was like, "Sure." And then 2023, here I am making swimming live streams for people. Personally, for my own race calendar, I have nothing until March. I'm going to do Pasadena reverse in March, and I'm going to do Bayshore sprint in April. Also, full disclosure, I am not a professional at this at all, streaming and triathlon. I'm just a guy who has done swimming a very long time. And in terms of a professional triathlete, I am scrub on the bike and the run. So my swim gets me out really far, and then I get the crap kicked out of on the bike, and I kind of hold on the run. So that's my background. So let's get into this concept of rotation, which is today's topic. So body rotation, let's first define it. What is body rotation? Body rotation is the concept where you take your spine as the neutral axis, and then you're going to rotate your body just like this around the spine, okay? Our spine wants to be the central point. So in order to do rotation correctly, we kind of need to understand a couple core concepts. Number one, head doesn't do this, okay? We don't want to swim and do this while we swim. You know, we don't want to be reaching, and we don't want our head to wiggle when we swim. So first part of rotation, we want to keep our head nice and still. Second key part of rotation is that I get a lot of people that ask, is it shoulder driven or is it hip driven? Because you're going to hear that a lot when you start looking into rotations. Is it shoulder-driven rotation? Is it hip-driven rotation? It depends. It depends on if you're doing distance or if you're doing sprinting, and it also kind of depends on how your stroke mechanics are. But one thing is absolutely vital. Sorry. It's still before 6 o'clock in the morning. One thing is vital is your core engagement, okay? Connecting your shoulders to your hips. That's the main thing of this rotation that we're talking about today. Because unless you have the body rotation is truly what kind of sets apart, new to barely intermediate swimmers to good swimmers and great swimmers. So that huge divide is typically bridged by rotation. You can definitely see a person who has swam a long time because it just looks like everything is in sync. You know, their arms are going, the legs are kicking, and everything just looks really fluid. If you don't have a good body rotation, there is a high chance that everything just looks disjointed. You're kind of pulling, you're kind of kicking, and you kind of don't really know how everything fits together. This is very similar to running, okay? In running, it's really, you can tell someone that really knows what they're doing by the arm swing. The arm swing, if they're in sync and everything is moving good, the arms are absolutely in sync with the legs, okay? So, yes, there are exceptions to the rule in that kind of a scenario, but in swimming, there really isn't a good exception to this rule. It's basically good hip rotation means mastery of your body in the water, means you're able to control your movements in the water a lot better. All right, so let me show you what good rotation looks like. You know, we're gonna go back to my little videos here. So we're gonna do two different videos. Okay, we're gonna do the pulling video, and we're also going to do let's see here, analysis. There we go. So the other, I'm gonna show the pulling video, and I'm going to show the my sprinting video. Let's see here. Yep, here's my pulling video. No. Okay, so a couple things to note here. Here, let's go back to back. Okay. All right. So, couple key points to look at. Yes, my breathing head position is a little high. This was also done in 2020. Okay, so a couple key components. You see the arm, the shoulder, and the hip are really look like they're in a line. It doesn't look like the hip is under rotated in this shot. So then as the hand comes over, right now the shoulders are flat, the hips are flat. So then as I take the next pull right here, okay? So shoulders out of the water, hip is out of the water, arm is about to leave the water. So as the arm comes over, you see this whole body, the whole body is pitched just like this. Let me get my hand. So that's mid-stroke. Now we're about here. The whole body is pitched in this angle. So then as we let it play out, you see the hips. The key is the hips. And the other big thing is making sure that you keep the body in a straight line. If your legs are fishtailing and you're kind of wrenching your middle back in order to do this rotation, you're not doing it right. You want nice long line, and you see the hips are rotating alongside the shoulders. Okay, 1 second. So with rotation, it's truly the glue that holds together the kick and the swim. All right, now that is considered a hip-driven rotation. Now what I'm going to show is I'm going to show me doing a 100-yard freestyle sprint. This, I think, is about a 51. So what you're seeing is this is more of a shoulder-driven rotation where I'm punching my hands into the water. Actually, no, this turnover rate's way too slow. But that's the idea. So you can see that there is a little bit of kick. There's a little bit of hip rotation here. And the arms punching forward are what create the actual rotation in the stroke. Now, I think this was actually no, this couldn't have been a 50. Yeah, I was dying. I was really dying at this point. You want to see the Ferrell die? This is how the Ferrell dies. Okay, so those are your two main modes of rotation. So how do we do this? Okay, so first off, we need to get our head position right. We kind of talked about this in the breathing episode, where when you're not taking a breath, you want that head nice and stacked over your shoulders. Don't want to have your chin down. Don't want to have your head back. Just sit in a chair. This is how you kind of work on this. Work on this head position. This is really easy. Get a chair that swivels, like this is just a standard office chair. And then just look forward. Pull up a Zoom screen or get a mirror. Mirror's the lowest tech. And then just work on rotating the shoulders, keeping the head nice and still. This is exactly how we want to practice this. Because then we're going to be here and here. This is how we wind up really getting that rotation in. So, kind of, what's the idea? How do we obtain this body rotation? So as we are reaching forward, number one is allow the shoulder to extend, keep the head forward, allow the shoulder to extend, rotate the shoulders, okay? So the idea is as you're here, and yeah, this is technically, if your arm's here, you are pointing down the bottom of the pool. If your head is in this position, you actually want to be up here and rotating. But this is a good way to kind of start getting that rotating idea in. But you want to learn how to reach and rotate while you're reaching up towards the ceiling. So we're going to reach up towards the ceiling, going to learn how to get on our side, and then we're going to do the opposite on the other side. Now, how do we get the hips involved? So what we're going to do is we're going to stand up real quick. Okay, so in order to get the hips involved, we're going to come here and we're going to rotate these hips to the side. Okay, the number one thing that we need to understand is that we actually do need to rotate the entirety. We need to rotate everything down to the legs. Okay, so let's bring that down. So we want to rotate here and then here, okay? Here, stroke, 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 all right? So that's actually how you kind of start in that rotation. You just kind of take step to the side, step to the side, step to the side, step to the side. That's how, here, let's do that one more time. I'm not used to having all this room. All right. So when we're here, we want to be able to keep the legs stacked. We want to keep the legs stacked with the upper body. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to practice this, where the shoulders rotate, but the hips basically are stacked. Or the hips are flat to the water surface. You're looking down at the bottom of the pool. This is basically zero rotation. This is the first part of the rotation. And as we reach up, we want to engage the core. So engage the core and then have that translate from here to about here. So then we're going to reach and rotate. Engage the core. Engage the abs and engage the back. go here, 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 here. Okay? So you're basically just using this rotation here. Just do this. Do this to start. Get very comfortable keeping your head focused in on the camera and just rotate, 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 rotate. Because if you rotate about this fast, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you rotate about that fast, that's a very comfortable swim pace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So now that's how to do a very basic rotation. What I like to say is this can be broken up into steps. This can be broken up in a beginner rotation. This can be broken up in an intermediate rotation and then an advanced rotation. So beginner rotation is what I like to say is about 45 degrees, okay? Let me see. There's my camera. Okay, about 45 degrees. So when we're at 45 degrees, we're about here on the rotation. This is about 45 degrees of rotation. So why is 45 considered beginner? 45 is considered beginner because you don't have to mess with your kick in order to get a 45 degree rotation. That's just not something you need to do. Once you start getting above 45 degree rotation, you have to shift how the trajectory of how your legs are kicking enough to where it's actually going to mess with your kick cadence, okay? Because then you have to get your kick cadence under control so that you can actually stack your legs. That's one of the key reasons why body rotation is so hard. Body rotation can get very tough because you're forced to stack your legs on the side. So you start here, 45 degrees is about here, okay? 45 degrees is about here. This isn't very hard. When we start getting above the 45 degrees, so you got to keep everything stacked. You can't just go here and cross the ankles. If you cross your ankles when you try and rotate, this is going to be your first sign that your kick is not correct, okay? When you are kicking and then you rotate the hips, that's how you cross the ankles, okay? So here, 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 here. Here, 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 here. Okay? You're going to cross your ankles. Crossing your ankles is a no-no. That destroys your kick. That destroys your kick 100%. So, if you find yourself kicking and crossing your ankles when you kick, when you try and rotate, you need to go back and focus on your kick more. Because if you don't have the kick idea, you don't have to have a good kick. You got to understand, there's a major difference between a good kick. In other words, your kick is strong, your kick is able to move you forward super well. There's a difference between that and having a technically good kick. Your technically good kick can be slow as all get out. My kick was technically great. I just had a terrible kick all throughout college. All the other guys would kick the crap out of me once we put the kickboards on. But you can have a kick that is not amazing, but you are still able to do the body rotation correctly. So why now is it so tough in order to get the higher than 45 degree rotation? Like I said, it's with the legs. So what winds up happening is you have to keep the legs going no matter what position they're in. So you're kicking here, you're going to kick here, kick here, kick here, kick here, kick here. Okay? So Unfortunately, I don't have a good video of how my kick is done when I do body rotation. Um, Let me think. Is there anything else that I need to talk about? How to properly engage the core. How to properly engage the core. I want to talk about that while I'm still standing. So when you're here and your recovery, okay, your arm, one arm's finished your pull, your other arm is in the water. As you push down, okay, as you push that water down, you're going to engage the core, and you're going to set that body in. I'm going to set that arm, okay. Now, this is the whole concept that we talked about with the pull, where we're going to put that stiffness on the arm, going to get that power on the arm, and we're going to use the core to pull it backwards. We're going to use the core in conjunction with the arm. So one way to kind of work on this is here. We'll use this arm, okay? So you put this forward and then work on drawing that. So put stiffness on the arm and then use your core to rotate backwards, okay? So it's kind of like the, a plate twister. So it's like if you're holding your kettlebell and you're going back and forth like this, only rotating, only by engaging your core. So we're going to put our arm in the water and we're going to engage the core to pull it backwards. All right? So you could start in front here just to make things a lot easier. And then as you're drawing your shoulder, as you're drawing your arm back, engage the core. Engage the core until the hand is pointing backwards. And back, and back, and back. Okay? So use the core to connect basically your rib cage. The idea is we have a string between the rib cage and just below our belly button, okay? Just right at our swimsuit line, right at our pants line. And then we're going to grab that, use that string to connect the upper body and the lower body. So then as you're pulling backwards, that hip is rotating towards the front. This side is rotating towards the back. So when everything is done, you're on the opposite side. So that is how you do a good body rotation. You want to grab here, grab with the hip, and as you pull backwards, the hip finishes the rotation when the arm finishes the rotation. We don't want to start here, throw the hip, and then pull backwards. We want everything working together. So we're going to grab here, push back. Okay? So that brings everything into sync. You know, I talked about this at the beginning. The difference between swimmers that are okay and the swimmers that just look fantastic are the ones that are able to reach forward, grab with the hips and the core and the upper body, and when they finish the pull, they're fully on the opposite side. Opposite side, opposite side, opposite side, opposite side. So this exercise right here is a really good way to kind of understand. Take it nice and easy. Nice and easy. Get that hip rotating with the arms, okay? You can even do air swimming this way. Rotate and rotate and rotate. All right, we're going to switch back and sit down. So, like I said before, body rotation can be pretty simple. It can also be insanely complicated. So, what do we do in the water in order to work on this? Well, we got a couple drills, and pull buoy and snorkel are going to be your best friend. So, drills. One of the drills I really like, I don't really know what it's called. I call it a couple different things. So the drill goes, when you reach, you're going to be fully on your side. One arm forward, one arm backwards. You're going to take about anywhere between 4 to 6 kicks here. Kick, 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 kick. Okay? Then you're going to pull, engage the core, get on the other side. Kick, 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 kick. Pull, engage, kick, 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 kick. Okay? So you're going to stay on your side for about a second or two, a couple seconds. And you just really want to get used. The point of this drill in this context is to get used to the concept of rolling from one side to the other side, back to one side, back to the other side. So you want to focus on what is going on with your core as you rotate. Now, for this particular drill, I want you to go all out. I want 90-degree rotation. I want you to go from here, and as you're here, you're literally completely on your side, vertical in the water. We are going to over-exaggerate the rotation here. There's a good reason for doing this. What we're doing is we're taking the most amount of time to do the biggest 180-degree rotation that we can. And as we do this, we get used to start being on our side, okay? Kicking comfortably on our side. Theoretically, you can do this with pull buoy. I don't recommend you do this with a pull buoy. Oh, excuse me. Because definitely no snorkel. No snorkel on this. I don't recommend a snorkel because you actually want to have the body fully on the side, and your face is going to be out of the water. Your face is going to be out of water. Kick, 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 kick. Full rotation. Kick, 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 kick. Full rotation. Kick, 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 kick. Take the stroke nice and easy. Feel the power. Feel the whole body throwing its weight into your arms. That's kind of what we're going for here. So that's a really good way to start. Next is in order to work on kind of driving those hips in with each pull, using a pull buoy and either crossing your ankles intentionally or getting a band around your ankles. If you do that, you're going to lock your legs in place. It's going to make it a lot easier to rotate. A lot of people, if you have a wide kick, it's going to be hard to rotate. That's why when we kick, we want to have a nice narrow foot pattern. Basically, your big toes are going to kind of be grazing each other a little bit. So if you have a wide kick, you're going to be trying to rotate with this really wide profile. It's going to be super hard to do. Now, if you want to have some fun and if you want to challenge yourself, something that you can do is actually use a kickboard to aid with rotation. Let me show you. Okay, something that you can do with your kickboard is you can put it right here and then use this to help kind of engage your core and force your hips to rotate, okay? I will warn you, this is not fun. This is pretty tough, and you're going to have to be able to keep that kickboard in between your legs. Here, we're going to go back to the seat. Now, obviously, a couple limitations here. If your kickboard does not look like a standard tombstone kickboard, that's going to be a little hard to do. Squishy kickboards are not going to be as good for this. I love using this kickboard for it just because it's good. It's sturdy. It is very stiff. It doesn't like to bend at all. So then you can actually get a decent core workout by rotating the hips and having the kickboard push that water to the side. So it's kind of like resistance training for your rotation. So that's a really good idea, but that's kind of more for advanced beginners. Just use the pull buoy. Cross your ankles, or get an ankle strap. Just something that'll keep your ankles together. That's going to be your best way to really learn how to do this rotation. Yeah, okay. So like I said before, start at 45 degrees. Start at 45 degrees. With 45 degrees, your hip is going. Oh, sorry. It's 6:18. So your hip is going to be barely out of the water. Your shoulders are going to be slightly out of the water. But what you want to do is work on this on dry land. Work on just kind of barely 45 degrees. If something that you can do is you can kind of mark off 45 degrees. Just in your backyard, some sort of a concrete surface that they don't mind you coloring with chalk. Chalk out a vertical line, a 45-degree line, and then a 45-degree line. And then just kind of take small steps to rotate to get your feet on either side of that 45-degree line. So you're going to go 45, center, 45, center, 45. Have your face the 90-degree direction, and then do the 45, and then back to center, 45, center, 45, center. What you're going to find is you're going to say, wow, this doesn't take a lot. So the reason, I should have probably talked about this a lot earlier in the film, because I was focusing a lot more on kind of the whole pull aspect. But one of the reasons why this body rotation concept is super good is because of breathing. When you get those shoulders rotated and you get the hips rotated, you barely have to move the head, if at all. With a 45-degree rotation, you're going to have to move the neck just a little bit to breathe. Excuse me. But that's a whole lot better than doing this, and your shoulders are flat, and you got to crane your neck over to the side. So I'm going to have to take another video to kind of, and I need to get some video myself of my kick in order to really explain kind of this whole advanced rotation thing. But I'm kind of running out of time, and I want to wrap this up nicely. So just remember, this is a VOD here on Team Zoot's Facebook page. If you want to leave a comment, go for it. Kind of a lightning round right now. If there's anyone in chat and you got any questions at all, I could do my best to answer it very quickly. Just while I wrap things up, just always remember, if you actually make it this far in the video, first off, thank you. Next off, always, I'm very grateful for Zoot for letting me do this. This is just some harebrained idea that I had, and they greenlit it, and that's why I'm here on your Facebook page, talking about swimming. But rotation really is going to be that thing that'll take people from 140 and get you to a 130. Being able to really incorporate this rotation is going to give you a ton of power, and power is the name of the game. Being able to get the body rotation, you're going to take a lot of load off your shoulders, you're going to take a lot of load off your arms, and you're going to engage your core, which, I mean, let's face it, in cycling, your core is there for stability. You do use some of your core and the push and blah, blah, blah. But we want to use our whole upper body in swimming so that we take it off our legs. Oh, man, I'm sorry. Way too many yawn breaks here. We want to have our upper body take most of the load, and using the core to transfer the power, to be the power transmission line between our upper body and our lower body, We're going to be able to use our kick a lot more efficiently, and we're going to get a major power boost, strength boost to our upper body because we're adding in the rotation energy into just the lateral arm pulling energy. Okay, so it looks like we don't really have any comments this morning. I didn't send out oh, sorry. We got these little green parrots in my town, and they are just absolutely annoying, and it's nothing kills them, so they just run around unabated, and it's ridiculous. So I can't think of anything else to talk about on rotation. This one is slightly shorter than the other ones. I will need to figure out what I'm going to be streaming next week. But yeah, there is no stream the week of Thanksgiving, so don't worry about that. I'm not going to be in town. I'm not going to have my setup. But yeah, that's about all I can think of. So anyway, if you got any questions, any comments, please leave a comment in the comments down below. Shoot me an email, ferrellswimtech@gmail.com. Remember, I do in-person lessons, so if you live in Southern California, mostly LA County area, but that does include OC, North San Diego, Western San Bernardino, Southern Ventura, basically any of those counties. If you want an in-person swim lesson, shoot me an email. I do lessons from 5:30 to 7 most weekdays. And then I can make arrangements for a Saturday, but I need to make that well in advance, just because I got to make sure scheduling works and everything like that. So, yep, that's all I got. So hope this helps you kind of make your swimming a lot more fluid and bring strength to your swim. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get my kids ready for school. So until the next stream, make sure if you see Mark on the Friday stream, a little shout out for me would be great. Letting Mark know that you enjoy this content. And I honestly challenge anyone that does what I do. You're a technique coach in running or cycling, if you need help learning how to live stream, I can teach you how to live stream. I think streams like this really help other team members. So if you have extreme proficiency in run training or run technique coaching and cycling technique coaching, please lend us your voices. Do a stream just like this. It's really not that hard to get set up. If you are looking to do it and you just don't know how to do a live stream, email me. I've been live streaming since 2017, almost every night. I know how to get this thing set up, and we can actually get it set up at a really low cost. You can have a really good setup for super cheap. I mean, we're talking about $150. For $150, I can get you a setup that is really solid. So if you want to do a live stream for Team Zoot, just like I do, ferrellswimtech@gmail.com. I can get you set up. We can do some practice runs, talk about content, things of that nature. I would love to get more people helping other team members excel at triathlon. So anyway, I'm out of here for realsies this time. So check out all the social medias down here. Any inquiries, ferrellswimtech@gmail.com. So that's it for me. Until later, my friends. Good night, Isaiah Norris. Wherever you are, I'm out of here. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.